The Tesla Model S used to be the king of Silicon Valley, but today you'll find this sedan sitting outside pretty much any WeWork with a half-melted iced matcha latte sitting in the cup holder. The Tesla Model S isn't quite on the pedestal it once was, but it's quietly become one of the best used EV deals around. In fact, for the price of a new Tesla Model 3, you can pick up a used Tesla Model S. And this car comes with Alcantara headliner, 670 horsepower, and air suspension. In today's video, I'm going to tell you why the once pricey Tesla Model S is actually one of the best used EV deals around. Before we start today's video, my name is Andrew Lambrecht. I'm a project engineer here at Ever, and I'm also a contributor at Inside EVs and Business Insider covering electric cars. If you'd like to see more about the Tesla Model S and how it compares against the Porsche Taycan, Lucid Air, and BMW i5, you can check out our full comparison with all four of those EVs linked in the description below. But if you're here for the Tesla Model S and the Model S alone, let's dive in. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about trims and pricing. So the Tesla Model S 2021 and newer refresh models were offered in two different variants, long range and plaid. This particular one is a long range variant, and it offers 670 horsepower thanks to two electric motors and a 95 kilowatt hour usable battery pack that's good for an EPA range of up to 405 miles. Today, prices have really come down on these used examples, and this particular 2025 model is priced at $46,000. This one's on the higher end because it's a little bit newer than the 2021 and it's relatively low miles. However, here at Ever, we have several under $45,000, which marks a really compelling price. Under $45,000 for 400 miles of EPA range and 670 horsepower. So let's see what we get for that price. On the exterior, we get air suspension as standard, which is good for a minimum ground clearance in the lowest setting of 4.6 inches, and on the highest setting, you can get up to 6.2 inches. So this is a pretty decent amount of ground clearance for a sporty sedan in the highest setting. The design is very aerodynamic. This car has a drag coefficient of just 0.208, making it one of the most aerodynamic production sedans around. It's definitely valid to say that the Model S's exterior is aging. This car has been out since 2012 and hasn't really experienced many visual exterior updates since. But it's important to remember two things. This car is still very aerodynamic. In fact, it's one of the most aerodynamic production cars for sale today. And it also has lots of cargo space. And we'll explore that right now. Despite having a sedan profile, the Model S actually is a liftback. So you press the button back there and the liftback opens up automatically. This is home to 25 cubic feet of cargo volume, which is truly impressive for a sedan. We even have this lower load floor area with even more space underneath this floor. There's frankly a lot of space back here, but it doesn't stop in the trunk area. Underneath the hood of the Tesla Model S, we get a front trunk that's home to 3.1 cubic feet of cargo volume. When we consider the tailgate area, we get 28.1 cubic feet of total cargo volume. That's more cargo volume than the entire tailgate area in the Chevy Blazer EV. That SUV does not have a front trunk, so we are looking at a sedan with more cargo volume than an actual SUV. When you first get into the back seats of the Tesla Model S, two things will come to your consciousness. The first is the door thumb. Pretty good. The second thing is all the nice materials back here. For instance, we have Alcantara headliner, lots of soft touch materials all on this door panel, fabrics, and even the entire portion of the lower B pillar is all carpeting. A lot of other cars tend to have plastic down here, but in the Model S, it's all carpeting. Feels good. We also get an 8-inch center display where we can adjust the climate control settings, play music, watch movies, or even play video games. It works really well, and it's nice to have that functionality back here. Below that display are our hidden AC vents and 2 USB-C ports. There's also a large center console, which is a little difficult to open at times. You have to press and hold on this electronic release. And then we get 2 cup holders, 2 wireless phone chargers, and a center storage area. And when we have this down, it's pretty cozy back here. The seats are also pretty well bolstered, and they are perforated and heated. The Model S back seats are a pretty nice place to be in. That is, except for the middle seat. Good posture, but a little awkward. Up front, the interior experience is really solid. We get heated and ventilated seats as standard, lots of nice materials just like up back, but even now the entire dashboard is made up of this soft touch leatherette material with a pretty nice stitching pattern, open grain wood, and yeah, it feels really premium up here. And in terms of the materials and features, it's quite good. We have this nice center console with 2 wireless phone chargers, 2 cup holders, and there are 2 USB-C ports hidden underneath here. There's also a 22 speaker sound system with 960 watts of power. Once again, this sound system is standard, and I would say it's on the par of BMW's Harman Kardon and Audi's Bang & Olufsen. It's frankly a really good sound system. While the Tesla Model S may look and feel a little bit more minimalist than most luxury cars out there, that doesn't mean we don't get a lot of standard features. In fact, we have more standard features in the Model S than a lot of other luxury cars on the market. For instance, we have heated and ventilated seats, Alcantara headliner, glass roof, premium sound system, a heated half a steering wheel because it's the yoke, and we get adaptive cruise control and lane centering as standard. A lot of luxury brands will charge you for all these features, but in the Tesla Model S, this all comes as standard. And this is particularly good for the used market because now you don't have to spend any more effort searching for Model S's with the options you want because they're all the same. As for software, the Model S has a very responsive display. It's super snappy thanks to an AMD Ryzen chip. This means if we want to plan out a road trip, it's also really quick at doing that. So if we type in Los Angeles, we will quickly get our route all the way down to LA with our charging stops included. Since we have the supercharging network, we can see exactly what time we will stop into the supercharger at and for how long we will spend there. If you want an EV that's easy to road trip, the Model S is a great choice just because this infotainment works so well. This particular Model S is on hardware 3, so we do not have the most avant-garde cameras, but they're still really crisp. These are better than most backup cameras on the market, but if you get hardware 4, you will get even higher resolution cameras, though to get that, you will need to look for most 2023 models and newer. If you would like hardware 4, you really got to opt for a 2023 model year or newer. There are some 2023s that don't have it, but most of them do, and the way to check is to go to software and then look at the autopilot computer, full self-driving computer 3. But if you're not using FSD, you're probably not going to notice a huge difference between hardware 3 and hardware 4. Other than that, this infotainment works really well and there's lots of functionality. For instance, we have a dash cam, which is great for recording your drive in case there's an accident. And we can also use Sentry mode. There's the toy box, internet browser, and you can even watch movies on Netflix while your car is charging. In my opinion, Tesla is still the software king when it comes to the highly functional app, or even the Apple Watch app where you can unlock and lock your doors from your wrist. The car's functionality is really top notch. From charging to service to software and everything in between, Tesla truly has a top-notch ecosystem. We also have a climate control menu located right here, and it's very similar to other Tesla products. We can adjust our airflow, etc. We also have our ventilated seat controls here, so we can change it from heat to ventilation and turn it on. We also have bioweapon defense mode, so there is a HEPA air filter located up front, and this is great for purifying the air. And while you aren't probably going to encounter a bioweapon in the near future, hopefully not at least, This is still great for areas with high pollen counts, and if you have allergies like I do, then you can just run the HEPA air filter to have purified air in the cabin. Pretty cool. Other than the center screen, we do have our driver display gauge cluster located right here, where we can see our battery percentage, temperature, our drive selector position, and we can see our speed and a bunch of other stuff. The graphics on this display are really crisp, and it's nice to have a driver gauge cluster as opposed to just the center screen like on the Model 3 and Model Y. Overall, the user experience up front is quite good. When it comes time to charge the Tesla Model S, the charge port is located back here, just like every other Tesla product. And the nice thing about this is that we do have access to the supercharging network. The Model S can charge at 250 kilowatts, though the charging curve is pretty steep. It's better than the Model 3 and Model Y, but it's not a class-leading charging curve. Still, the Model S can charge from 10 to 80% in around 31 minutes, which is a really good time. And the real world range in these Model S's is really solid too. In fact, Brandon Flash tested a Model S exactly like this with the 21-inch alloy wheels and in the long range configuration, and secured 335 miles on a single charge at 70 miles per hour. While it's not quite the EPA range of 375 miles, 335 at 70 miles per hour is quite solid. Frankly, the Model S is a great road tripper. You got solid range, good charging, and access to the massive supercharging network with integration thanks to the Tesla app and infotainment. All right, driving the Tesla Model S. So one of the first things you'll notice when you're driving is that the yoke can be a little awkward in cities. So especially if you have to make pretty tight turns, you will just get into some odd positions with your hand. So you might have your hand up on the top of this yoke or on the, it's just kind of weird. I think it's great for highway driving, like right now on the freeway. It works great and it's very comfortable. But when you're making tight maneuvers in urban environments, it can be a little bit awkward. When you're driving down the highway, the Model S is fine. It doesn't really feel like a true luxury car. I think there's too much road noise in here and too many vibrations and rattles in the cabin to put it on the same level as, say, a BMW i5 or Porsche Taycan. But I think it is nicer than other Tesla products like a Model 3. I drive a Model 3 myself, and coming in here feels like a pretty nice upgrade. We have ventilated seats, and it is a little bit quieter. And also the materials just feel really nice. This car feels premium, but I wouldn't say it's a true luxury car. When you compare the Model S to some other premium EVs on the market, this one actually doesn't weigh all that much. The Model S comes in at 4,561 pounds, which is pretty heavy, but a lot of other luxury electric sedans are around 5,000 pounds, like the Lucid Air. So on the weight spectrum, the Model S is on the lower side. As for steering feel, it's pretty good. It's very similar to Model 3 and Model Y because this is electrically assisted steering, and wherever you point this car, it will go. So the steering is very snappy and responsive, but I wouldn't say the handling is particularly amazing in the Model S. The handling is nowhere near as fun as a Tesla Model 3, and there's just really not a lot of feedback you get through the steering wheel. When you get in, say, a Porsche Taycan, you just get so much feedback from that steering wheel, and it feels really, really superb. But in the Model S, it feels pretty numb. But there's also a lot of positives with the Model S. One of those positives is just how quick this car is. This is the base spec long range Model S, and it makes 670 horsepower. So when you accelerate, it's insane. It's insanely quick for the base model vehicle. And it's actually kind of funny because we're in insane mode right now. The other positive is autopilot and FSD. All Model S's come as standard with autopilot, which basically centers yourself in the lane on the highway and uses adaptive cruise control to keep you a safe distance from the car ahead of you. Base autopilot works really well, and it's great to use on highways because you can put it on and you just need to put your hand on the steering wheel every 30 seconds or so and the car will drive itself. FSD is a totally different animal, and you can literally type in a destination and the car will drive you there. It will drive through city streets, country roads, highways, and more. It works really well. It occasionally makes mistakes, but it's a really cool feature to have, and pretty awesome that this car has all that functionality just from these onboard cameras and computers. A lot of people like to say that other automakers are catching up when it comes to autonomous driving and software, but I think once you go head to head, experience a Tesla Model S with FSD, and then say a Ford with Blue Cruise back to back, there's really no comparison. The capabilities of FSD are truly incredible. From stopping at stoplights to navigating dense urban streets, it is really cool what FSD is capable of. As for the driving experience in the Model S, I think the strong suits are undoubtedly the software and the acceleration. The rest of the driving experience just isn't that exciting, but if you're buying this car for the FSD, or you're just buying this because you want access to the supercharging network and plenty of range, I think the Model S is a really solid choice still. After spending some time with the Tesla Model S, I gotta say it's a really impressive used value. You get lots of standard features like the 22-speaker audio system and ventilated seats, plus you have lots of practicality with the hatchback and solid real-world range and great charging thanks to the supercharging network. And especially if you're looking at buying a new Tesla Model 3, you should really consider a used Model S. You get more interior space and cargo volume, more standard features, and a much more potent powertrain. The used Model S is certainly worth a look. If you enjoyed today's video, please go to your local Panda Express and tell all the employees there to subscribe to Evercars Official. Thank you for watching.